Hi everyone, Chef Lisa here with Revive Wellness and my Viva Plan. Today I am making hummus, but I'm not making your regular run-of-the-mill chickpea hummus, which is delicious, but we're doing something a little bit different today, and that is edamame hummus. If you're not familiar with edamame beans, they're basically just soybeans that have been picked before they're fully mature, fully ripened. So they have this really nice bright green color, and that's going to be imparted in our final hummus as well, which looks really beautiful. Edamame beans are packed full of protein and fiber, so it's a really good snack option. This hummus is a good snack to have to keep you feeling full throughout your day. It also is great as a spread in a sandwich or a wrap. It adds a really nice texture, nice flavor, and a little bit more substance for your wraps and your sandwiches. So lots of different uses for this hummus. Now I'm using frozen shelled edamame here. That's going to be the quickest way to make this recipe. Now you can just use this right out of the package. Once they're thawed, you can just throw them right into your food processor and away you go with your recipe. My personal preference is actually to cook them according to the package directions. So it's about 4 to 5 minutes in boiling salted water. Now the reason I do that is it just softens them a little bit more, makes them blend up a little bit more smoothly in the food processor. But you can skip that step if you want it to go a little bit more quickly. So it's totally up to you. So I'm going to just start adding stuff to my food processor here today. Now I'm making a half recipe today, so I'm going to do it in a mini food processor. So my food processor has this little bowl that kind of nestles inside the larger one and acts as a mini food processor. If you're doing the full recipe, and that recipe can be found on my Viva Plan, by the way, you can just use your regular food processor bowl, no problem. So we're just going to start adding stuff to the bowl here. So we're going to start with edamame beans, of course. It's going to go right in. Now we're going to add a raw clove of garlic that adds a really nice flavor, punch of flavor in there. Some fresh squeezed lemon juice that just brightens up all the flavors and kind of balances it out. I'm going to start with maybe half of that, 2/3. And some tahini, which is basically just sesame paste. Now that adds a really nice texture. It has a nice nutty flavor to it. Adds a little bit of healthy fat and a little bit more protein as well. So it just kind of adds a lot to this recipe, really contributes to the final texture as well, which is kind of important. So get all of that in there. And then some salt for some seasoning. Now again, you can add as much as works for you. You can also adjust the seasoning towards the end as well, and that works just fine. A little bit of paprika here, just the regular paprika. Now, if you want to get crazy, you can try some smoked paprika. It will change the recipe flavor a little bit, but not in a bad way, so give it a shot. Or you can even add like a pinch of cayenne if you want a little bit of heat in there too. So I'll let you customize that to your liking. Okay, so now we're just going to add our lid on here and blend it up a little bit. I'm going to have to scrape down the bowl because it's going to kind of splatter on the sides a little bit, and that's just kind of what happens. All right, so that's already looking pretty good. Starting to get kind of chopped up in there, which is what we're looking for. So at this stage, it's obviously very thick, and that's completely normal for that to happen. Now, this is why we have some water on standby, and we're going to adjust the consistency to our liking. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lid back on here, and I'm going to run the machine and take the feed tube out. And I'm just going to drizzle the water in until I reach the desired consistency that I'm looking for. Now that again comes down to personal preference a little bit depending on what you like, but it also depends on how you're going to be using this dip. So if it's just a dip that you want to have as a snack with pita and veggies, you might want it a little bit looser, a little bit more smooth. If you're using it as a spread in a sandwich or a wrap, then maybe you want it a little bit thicker. So I'll let you again decide how far you want to go. But just add it slowly so that you can kind of adjust it as you go. Okay, I'm going to take a peek at that now and see if it's getting closer to the consistency I want. Definitely getting closer now. Still quite thick. I'm going to be using mine as a dip, most likely, so I'm okay with it being thicker as a dip. I might want to just add a little bit more here. I'm just giving it a bit of a stir. You can probably see that it's on the thicker side. So I'm going to add a little bit more water. You can also add a little drizzle of olive oil in there as well if you wanted, but I'm going to continue on with my water here. Okay. Yeah, and that's looking great now. That's the exact consistency that I want. So I'm just going to transfer this out of this bowl so you can have a look at it a little bit easier from here. All right, we're just going to transfer this now into a serving bowl. So we're just going to take that blade out of there. Got to be careful with this, obviously. Okay, we're going to just put that off to the side here in the sink. And then we're going to put this in our bowl. Such a nice green color. Just looks so nice in the bowl. Makes a decent serving as well. This is a half recipe, as I mentioned, and makes a nice serving. If you make a large amount, so if you make the full recipe, you can freeze this easily. I like to freeze it in small containers, so you can just pull them out and have a kind of a smaller serving ready to go one at a time. So that's always an option as well. Now, if you want to just dress it up a little bit more, I kind of like to give it a spread around on the plate, swirl it around. And then sometimes I like to add just a drizzle of olive oil on top. And just a little sprinkle of the paprika. It's already in there anyway. Just adds a nice finishing color on there. And make sure to get it all over your counter like I'm doing too. And that's it, that's done. You can now serve this with your pita chips or some veggies or anything like that. So please give this one a try at home, and I really hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching today. We'll catch you next time.